So this is going to be a quick video just discussing solo DPS for Spire of the Watcher, the final boss, Persys, just showing you how to consistently solo free phase this fight without god roll rockets and stuff like that. I've come up with a strategy. So for those who just want to say that and skip the timestamps, but I can show you the mods, etc., and the weapons and stuff. So my first tip is that the encounter is 1590, even though the power level says 1570, it isn't. When you get to the final boss, it ramps up to 1590, which is common in Destiny stuff. It's common to raids and stuff as well. They work like that. They ramp up in power level. But that's key to know, because that means you can overlevel the dungeon. You can overlevel everything in the game apart from Grandmaster content and contest modifiers type activities like day one raids and stuff. But other stuff you can overlevel it. So if you get a 1610, you do max damage. So my first tip is get as high power as you can if you're struggling with this dungeon still, and DPS requirements, because it is tough. You only get a 23-second damage window on this boss fight, right? So what's the best thing to run? And this is specifically for Hunter. Warlock is the best because you can solo two phase and it's bugged with the well, right? Or whether it's intended or bugged, I don't know. But obviously that is the best. But this is a video for Hunters specifically. So the first thing is that you want to run Gathering Storm Super. It's the best super to run for this boss. Blade Barrage is close second, but Gathering Storm is definitely the best. I ran Gambler's Dodge, but you could run. You don't need Marksman's because of mods this season. In later seasons you might, but for now we can do the Punch Dodge. Combination Blow. I ran with Pulse Grenade. Aspects are Flow State, Lethal Current. Fragments are Magnitude. Feedback. Resistance is a massive one. It helps you survive against supplicants in the fight. You can actually survive quite a lot if you have that on. And then Spark of Shock. So this is the general loadout that you'll see weapon-wise, right? So this is what I'm saying. If you don't have a God-rolled hothead, the reason why it's so good is because you can shoot 8 to 10 rockets within the 23-second damage window and do massive damage because of Field Prep Clown cartridge. I understand not everyone has that. It also synergizes with the Arcstrider because you can use Font of Might with it. Bump in the Night's another good rocket, but if you don't have Hothead for your Arc Hunter, then there's another strategy, an alternative one. So obviously you wouldn't run with a Horde. You take that off, you put a good kinetic GL on, and then you could put the exotic machine gun Grand Overture, which does massive damage to this boss. It's one of the weapons I've found. There's not many weapons that does massive damage to this Riven because the Riven is weakened to supers, not so much weapons. But this weapon in specifically shines. Xenophage does a little bit as well, but I think this is better than Xenophage actually, because you can farm up volleys. So every hit that you get, it loads a volley in, and then you can change the mode of the gun, and then shoot like Warcliffe Coil. The trick is with the Persys fight is that you need to farm volleys up before you start DPS. 20 shots. It's a lot. It takes a lot of setup. But once you get it, you do massive damage because of it. Because then you'll do your volleys as DPS starts. Then you'll do single shot fires with supers and stuff. But then you'll do another volley right before the end of damage phase. You won't get the 20 volley twice, but you get a 20 and a 13 or a 14. You could really ramp it up if you wanted. But if you do all that, you'll do massive damage. The kinetic GL needs to be good as well. I've got all on holster 1 with spike grenades. It doesn't have to be that, but all on holster helps because you can reproc weaken clear twice, right? So that's actually handy, and it also reloads your weapon weaken clear. So use Ikelos SMG for obvious reasons on an Arc Hunter. We're using Star Eater skill, so this is for the damage, right? So you want 4 orbs per phase, so make sure you farm that up. So you need a helmet mod to do that. So I've got Harmonic Siphon on and Kinetic Siphon. So the mods I had Overcharge Wellmaker on, Elemental Charge, Font of Might, High Energy Fire, Solo Operative, and Weaken Clear. So the High Energy Fire and the Font of Might will proc together. I'll only get 10 seconds of Font of Might. I'm totally aware of that, right? But I didn't feel as though I needed to stack 3 Font of Might and do all that stuff to get more time on the Font of Might. I just went with the 10-second Font of Might and then a High Energy Fire stacking together, which I understand is a little bit less damage, but it's still a consistent solo free phase. This So resistance wise as well, make sure you've got void damage resistance on for the boss and concussive dampener. That concussive dampener is going to help you out against the supplicants, help you from being one shot. Reloaders I just had for my SMG on. You don't need reloaders for the machine gun because Weak and Clear is going to reload it, and you're not going to have much time to shoot all those shots anyways. Overcharge well maker is really good because you'll spawn 2 wells, and it's also better because two of the wells might be away from you, which means the timer for Font of Might won't start until you pick it up. But with Melee Well Maker, you pick up the well straight away. So Overcharge Well Maker is a little bit better if you want to delay Font of Might and start it when you want it to start, i.e. when DPS starts. So that's just the setup that I ran for this. Obviously, just to reiterate, you've got to farm 4 orbs and 20 missile volleys for every DPS phase. But if you do that, the damage will be fine. Here's the clips, but I hope you enjoy. Thank you.